Hello Aquarius, thank you for joining me for your September monthly forecast for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be delighted if you did so now. This month begins with a lineup of energy in the sign of Virgo. Now this sees the Sun in conjunction with Mars and also Venus and Mercury in the sign of Virgo too. This stellium is focusing energies therefore on a sign which is very much to do with discrimination. Virgo energy is also about being of assistance to others. It's about providing services. It's about making sure that we sort the wheat from the chaff and grapple with the finer details of things. It is basically about virtue. With the Sun combining with Mars through to the 12th, this provides a very passionate dimension for us Aquarius people. Now, Aquarius people have a reputation for being rather detached, but you may surprise yourself, and perhaps I'm about to as well, by the fact that we may get much more engaged by the things that are fascinating us this month. And that could be around our relationships, it could be around a romantic involvement or attraction, it could be about improving finances, it may be about business, but it's certainly going to be a month of determination. The story begins with the Sun, as I say, combining with Mars. The Sun in Virgo is very much about sorting things out. It's about organising things in the most efficient way. In the 8th house, that is about making sure that you're getting a fair deal on your utilities, that the bank isn't charging you horrendous fees if you go 1 cent or 1 penny overdrawn. It's about feeling that there is a fair exchange in the amount of input of labour that you put in terms of the money you receive for all your hard work and endeavour. If you're someone who's a frustrated entrepreneur, the Sun in this location is given the encouragement to try to find ways to provide a service that can provide some kind of level of return for you. But with Mars in the mix, this creates a much more impulsive, compulsive dimension, because together it brings about a desire to make things happen in a much more immediate way, because Mars is the planet of instant gratification, and especially in the 8th house, quite honestly, it is linked to intimacy in this location. So you may find that if there is someone that you're strongly drawn towards, the chemistry can be very compelling, and that can create a lot of excitement, and pulses can race. And with Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, also in this location, the logic that Aquarius people have can be provided to try to understand ways to make transitions, because the 8th house is about change. With Venus here, it's back into the money and the love thing. In week 2, Mercury and Venus are going to be combining. So if there is somebody who really is attracting you strongly, it could be that you're going to find the right mix of drive, words, and sentiment, and sensuality even, to make a major impression. But the 8th house can also be about possessiveness, which most Aquarius people have a little bit of a difficulty with. But if you're someone who's very committed to a situation and someone you're involved with is moving away from that, then the quarter moon, which occurs on the 6th, could be quite challenging, because maybe the status quo is changing but not in the way that you want. But then on the other hand, maybe it's going to be you or I which are pushing to make changes in quite a strong and powerful way. Part of the reason for this, Aquarius, is that the Sun is going to be forging an amazing link to Pluto from the 10th to the 16th, and Mars from the 16th through to the 24th. Well, when we get the Sun and Pluto together, we naturally get change, but that change can actually be a very positive thing. So whether the changes are going to occur at a more internal level, in other words, emotionally, letting go of things that no longer serve your greater good or purpose, moving away from the chains of involvements which you do feel trapped around, or it could be that the change is going to come about in a much more external way. So it could be that there's going to be physical changes in your world. But I think the insights that all this energy is going to create is going to be phenomenal. Because Saturn and Pluto have been really so impactful on the 12th solar house of psychology, there may have been moments, particularly since Saturn moved into Capricorn in December the 20th, 2017, when, just like me, you may have gone through some quite painful stuff. And if that has been the case, with Saturn going forwards, ending its retrograde this month on the 17th and starting to go forwards, I think there can be a sense that's been made for all the things that have been affecting you deep down within you. But something could be leaving your life that has meant a lot to you, and that can be painful. Like all transitions can sound like an exciting thing to embrace, but sometimes, even if we move into a most glorious house, but in a new location because of a job, we might be missing some of the familiarity or people or comfort of a previous location. So any transition isn't necessarily 100% easy. But I think if you can accept the changes, then a lot of good can come from this month for sure, particularly from the time of the full moon on the 14th. This full moon, it's true, is going to see you thinking carefully about juggling the ins and outgoings around your finances, but it's also helping you to think more carefully about worth, your worth principally, because it's linking with Pluto. Now, it is true to say that Jupiter is clashing with Neptune this month, and there is going to be a brief time when that includes the Sun and also Mars. But I think overwhelmingly, let's focus on the positive. Jupiter and Neptune, right angle for you, just suggest that when it comes to your resources, be a little bit cautious about who you invest time and energy in, or if you've got a business idea, make sure you really do your research very carefully. But also on the 14th, Mercury moves into a fabulous location, the sign of Libra, which of course is your sister air sign, followed on the 15th by Venus, which rules Libra. Now these two are going to be collaborating superbly in the second half of this month. And it's a wonderful time for you to be thinking of travel, higher education, contracts that can be to your benefit, widening your thinking, being much more adventurous in your approach. But also the Sun's going to be moving on the 23rd into Libra on the back of the autumn equinox. So we're at the halfway point of the Western tropical zodiac year on the 23rd, but as the Sun moves into this location, followed by a new moon on the 28th, and Venus and Mercury forge a stunning angle to Jupiter in the last week of this month, it really can be a time when some of the things that have been really so intense and tricky over the last few months because of all the oppositions that have gone on between influences in Cancer and in Capricorn all start to free up, and it can be like a sense of liberation, a sense of new beginnings, a sense of freshness, and you can really be surfing that. So it's a marvellous time to be thinking about reinventing your existence, honouring that part of you that likes to be independent and have some time to yourself, and also at the same time breaking away from any cloying politics or groups or people that hold you back from being really true to yourself. So that transition can be exciting, but I think what's going to drive it is a fantastic amount of personal insight, which is really going to come to the boil at the heart of this month, and can see you feeling much more minded to drive the agenda of change, even if, as we've said already, change sometimes can be rather tricky. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Aquarius. If you'd like to know more about your personal situation based on your time, date and place of birth, please see the link beneath this video and visit my personal horoscope store. You can get a 30% off if you buy a forecast and a character analysis. But equally, if you'd like to speak to me personally, you can do that too. So please see the link beneath this video. But for now, good luck and goodbye.